Hello my friends, and welcome back to my channel. I wanted to do a love reading, and I was hearing positive change. Maybe you've been seeing a lot of fives, and one thing I was hearing is, again, I was hearing positive change, and perhaps you were wanting change in a connection, but perhaps that meant making positive changes yourself. Maybe pulling back your energy, focusing on your own positive changes, in hopes that this person would make positive change. Like maybe you were waiting for them to make some positive changes. Anyway, again, I was seeing 555. May could be symbolic. So yeah, let's get into this reading. So this is going to tell us what the situation is, and then we'll get tarot. We have friendship. So right now, maybe that's one of the positive changes you're making, right? Maybe you are trying to raise your vibration. For some of you, maybe this connection got stuck in like, maybe it was like a situationship where you were kind of stuck being friends. And you know, maybe this person, like maybe you wanted more than friendship, but maybe there was positive changes that needed to happen before you could elevate this connection. But you know, again, one of the positive changes you could be making is spending more time raising your vibration. Interesting, that card that I just cut open to that was flipped over, it does talk about lessons moving forward. So maybe that's one of the positive changes you made, right? Maybe you had to move away from this connection. And we have guidance, direction from angels. So when you could have been guided to, again, make positive changes. You could have been guided to kind of pull back your energy from this connection. It's definitely possible that, you know, you've been seeing signs and synchronicities about this connection. All right. Oh dear, my nose just started running. Maybe you're dealing with a runner. All right. Let's see what's going on here. Okay, so we do have settling, we have communication, and we have change, positive changes, right? Change is coming. Someone who had the courage to change. Perhaps, you know, you were settling for less than you deserved in this connection. You could have been dealing with someone who wasn't ready to settle down. We do have communication though, and change, right? So that's what I was hearing, positive changes. So perhaps you've been in no contact. Perhaps, again, I know I sound repetitive, but I keep hearing it. Perhaps there were positive changes that needed to happen in this person's energy before they would reach out to you, right? Maybe guidance from angels, maybe you were being protected until they made these changes. So interesting. This could be a reading about communication. So let's see what Spirit wants to tell us about this. What do we need to know about this connection? Well, we have triggered. Can't stop overthinking. So clearly this was, none of these want to come out. Interesting. Clearly this was a connection that triggered you, right? Yeah, we have contemplation, big decision, heavy thinking. So this person, it feels like right now, this could also be you, but it feels like right now this person could be thinking about reaching out to you after making positive changes. This third party energy, it could be that there was a third party interference getting in the way of this connection. This card really doesn't actually mention love. It mentions a third-party interference, like a past life issue coming in between you. You may or may not be aware of this, right? It may be happening subconsciously. It says confusion, past life issue, soul contract, Mercury in retrograde. So some of it could be the third-party interference could have been the way you communicate with each other. Maybe you both needed to make positive changes in communication. With the triggered card, right? You could have been dealing with someone that you were both triggering each other. Perhaps communication was coming from a triggered place, right? So you could have been communicating when you were triggered. They could have been triggered and trying to communicate with you while, you know, they were feeling triggered, right? Repetitive words, triggered and positive change. So I definitely think those are two important factors here. There could have also been some sort of third-party interference getting in the way of this connection, like a job, friendship, right? Maybe someone else's opinion. We have air sign, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. So to me, it feels like one of the blockages or one of the interferences here could have definitely been like mental thought, communication triggers is what's coming through. Big decision, heavy thinking. All right. Somebody has a lot on their mind. Whoa. All right. Yeah, communication. This feels like it's about communication. So change, right? Change is coming. Someone who's had the courage to change. So it feels like someone, again, the energy that I was getting is you could have been hoping for change within the connection, but it didn't happen. So maybe you focused on maybe you focused on yourself, moving forward from this connection, making your own positive change. I feel like whoever you're connected to is now having the courage to make those changes, right? I always talk about how it can take courage to look at our triggers, courage to look at what we need to heal. We have priority. So again, it feels like this person, there was some sort of third-party interference. So they could have been prioritizing their family's opinion, work over this connection. Maybe that's one of the changes you made, right? Like maybe you were overgiving to this situation, so you started making yourself a priority. Maybe you were guided by your angels to start prioritizing your own happiness, focusing on yourself, even focusing on your family. Yeah, guidance, direction from angels. And we have forgiveness, apology, kindness, grace. So it feels like this person is contemplating coming in with an apology here and communicating with you, asking for forgiveness, clarity, sees clearly, getting on the same page. So you could have even had, clashing perspectives. You could have not been on the same page when it came to prioritizing this connection, like I said. And it's interesting to me because I was hearing the energy of that positive change, right? So you could have been overextending yourself here, hoping for positive change, resisting maybe an ending, resisting separation. You could have been dealing with someone who was actually resisting that change. And by focusing on yourself and prioritizing yourself and your own change, I feel like it affected this person because, again, they seem to be on the same page as you right now, wanting to communicate with you about this change, wanting to ask for your forgiveness. I'm just going to get two more. This could have been someone, new perspective. This could have been someone that you saw the potential of being your life partner. All right. So yeah, we have decisions and options. So this person, you know, wanting to make a decision here. Clingy, holding on to your love, won't let go. So clearly they haven't been able to let you go. And perhaps, you know, like I said, I almost feel like whatever energy you were wanting within this connection, right? Trying to change in this connection. I kind of feel like you put all that energy into yourself, and maybe at one point you were the one that couldn't let go of this connection. And now I feel like I'm hearing role reversal. So it feels like now this person, you know, can't let you go. They're thinking about you, seeing your side, right? So this could have been someone very stuck in their own perception of this. Again, you could have had clashing perspectives. You could have been seeing this very differently. And now that you're looking at it differently, right? Now that you have clarity, maybe in a sense that, you know, maybe you are looking at this now thinking, I deserved better, right? Maybe you're looking at it thinking, this person didn't prioritize me. I feel like they are also gaining new perspective, new clarity about this. Seeing your side. I'm seeing a card, new understanding. I see your side of the story. Now that I'm seeing that card, I need to go grab that deck. Hang on. All right. So let's get tarot and then I'll get those messages. So what do we have on the bottom? I felt drawn to this deck today. We have the Five of Cups in reverse. Healing past wounds, making amends, right? Forgiveness, apology. There actually is an interesting... All right. There actually is an interesting message that I'm hearing with the Five of Cups in reverse. Someone may rekindle your hope for the future. 5 months could be symbolic. That's interesting. So if this person has changed, right, and they're reaching out, perhaps this new perspective shift that you're seeing in them is going to rekindle your hope, right, for a reconnection. Like maybe your perspective now is, remember the settling card, like your perspective could be, I was really settling for less than I deserved there. And this person could rekindle your hope in this. Seven of Pentacles. So this person could be waiting for the right time to come in. You could have been investing in an unhealthy connection here, or an imbalanced connection. Maybe there was, you know, codependency. There could have been that anxious attachment, anxious avoidant dynamic. You know, like I said, maybe you were investing in this, hoping for change. This person could have been lacking self-awareness. So perhaps you surrendered control. That's when the change happened. This Devil in reverse is positive because it's showing self-awareness, Hanged Man energy. New perspectives, right? So maybe you were seeing, right? You were investing. I'm hearing investing in their potential. So maybe you saw their wounding, or you could see where they were lacking self-awareness, but maybe you kept investing in it. I'm hearing anxious attachment. I'm hearing role reversal, right? So I feel like this person is coming in with a different perspective, more self-aware of their part in it, okay? Healing past wounds. Sounds positive. Looks positive. Three of Swords in reverse. Making amends, an apology, forgiveness, reconciliation energy. So again, I feel like you wanted positive change within this connection. You weren't getting it. You made positive changes in your own energy, triggering or leading to this person making positive change. Page of Cups, new perspectives again. We have like double energy of new perspectives here. And again, that Page of Cups can talk about revisiting a past connection. Queen of Swords, ooh, the Lovers in reverse. Okay, well, so clearly, you know, I don't think this person was seeing your worth. Queen of Swords, you possibly had to stand in your power, right? Maybe you had to speak your truth. Maybe you had to put up boundaries. We do have the Lovers in reverse, talking about an imbalance of energy, a disconnection, separation. One of the other meanings of the Lovers in reverse is someone who knows they need to take accountability but has been avoiding it, right? So maybe this was being blocked for your highest good until this person was ready to take accountability. Again, this person, like that triggered energy, right? Maybe they were so triggered that they couldn't see the error of their own ways. Blocked throat chakra. Blocked throat chakra, Queen of Swords, right? So here comes the sun. That song could be symbolic. Here comes the sun. Clarity, the sun. Just started shining onto my eyeballs. But like blocked throat chakra could have kept you from expressing your truth, setting boundaries, right? All right. Two of Swords. Decisions, right? Needing to make a choice. That whole thing about positive change, right? If this connection became very stuck and stagnant, that would have been a call to go within. So maybe it became very stuck and stagnant. There was a Tower moment. Queen of Pentacles, yeah. So it feels to me like this became very stuck and stagnant and you had to choose to focus on yourself, to invest in yourself, right? Protect your energy. Earth sign could be symbolic. Five of Wands in reverse, wanting to make amends. All right, maybe they chose someone else over you. All right, so what do I want to know here? What do we want to look at? Well, let's see your energy. We'll do an energy check. Show me the viewer's energy. Hanged Man, pulled your energy back, right? New perspectives. Pisces. Period of uncertainty, waiting, suspension. Seeing things more clearly, allowing in divine timing. So it does feel like you kind of released or surrendered to this period of uncertainty. It feels like you pulled your energy back here. And you could be waiting for perspective, like you could feel like this is coming. Let's get another one. You know, sometimes I also feel like if you had that blocked throat chakra, right? If you couldn't put up boundaries, if you were accepting less than you deserved here, the universe could have caused a Tower moment to kind of put you into separation. Your current energy. Ace of Cups. Focused on self-love, right? Important. Seven of Swords in reverse on the bottom. So, focusing on self-love, right? You're done with the games, right? You're done pretending that you don't see the red flags, right? Interesting. I like your energy. Positive change, right? I want to get one more card for you. One more. Aha. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Singing in the rain could be symbolic. The name Lena could be symbolic. But look at this, your energy. I love this Empress card because it shows protection, right? So that's what I was hearing, that guidance from angels, right? Maybe the universe had to remove you. But this is showing you're protecting your energy, you're protecting your growth, no longer chasing, knowing what you deserve, putting up boundaries, right? Again, that Seven of Swords in reverse. You are no longer deceiving yourself. You are done with whatever this was. And you're really focused on yourself, your own abundance, your own growth. Again, protecting your energy. The universe could also be helping to protect you now from repeating a pattern. We see this world here. And then we have the Seven of Wands, which is about boundaries. It's about, you know, this could have been you also like knowing that you deserve to stand up for yourself, right? With that Queen of Swords. Maybe you block this person. Nice energy though. Love it. Transformative energy, right? Positive change. So let's see how this has... I feel like your change is probably a catalyst for change in this person who has been avoiding taking accountability, right? So let's see their energy. Okay. This is good. This is good. So we have death, transformative energy. Again, I said perhaps your energy led to this person's transformations. Page of Cups, new perspectives. Possibly healing the inner child. Again, Page of Cups, like this person thinking about this connection, feeling intuitively like they want to revisit it, right? It feels like there's possibly like a lack of closure here. And remember everything I was saying, right? The change thing. I know I'm being repetitive. Maybe the letter C is symbolic. But it feels like this connection needed to change. And it felt to me like you kept investing in it, resisting the changes that maybe you needed to make by like pulling your energy back. I felt like this person could have been resisting change, right? We have death, which shows they're no longer resisting this change, this transformation. There could be something about negative emotional patterns, right? Like Empress, maybe you're being protected from repeating negative emotional patterns, like giving to a situation where you weren't being, the energy wasn't being reciprocated, you weren't being appreciated. This person, again, I'm hearing negative emotional patterns, maybe avoidance. With this Two of Wands, right? Like this shows that patterns that have kept this stuck are transforming right now, right? Two of Wands is also the energy of, someone who's wanting to step out of their comfort zone. So maybe for this person, change was uncomfortable because change is uncomfortable. And remember that card, the courage to change, right? I have to shut my curtain. That sun is so bright. Oh my goodness. This is really positive, okay? And also that Two of Wands can be about, you know, them wanting to come towards you, but maybe they're still trying to work up the courage to come towards you. It could have also been blocked by spirit, right? Until they changed those patterns, until they had new clarity. You both have cards about new perspectives, right? So that's good. Because again, maybe your perspective was like, oh, I'm asking for too much, or maybe I'm just being dramatic, or whatever your perspective was. It feels like now your perspective is more about, I deserve reciprocity. I deserve balance, right? And you can see it like they also have new perspectives. Nice. The Moon, Two of Cups for their energy, okay? So it feels like this person does have a fear about coming towards you to have a conversation, all right? So clearly, again, I feel like this person needs to apologize. And you have to remember we're all different people. We all have different experiences. So while maybe apologizing for you is really easy, you know, maybe to the point where you sometimes over apologize, like maybe you over apologized for things that weren't even your responsibility in this connection. This person could struggle with apologizing. I'm seeing 1122, so that number could be symbolic. November 22nd could be symbolic. All right. How are you feeling about them? Boundaries came flying out, okay? So Knight of Coins, you know, this person could have really caused you to overthink, right? They could have caused you a lot of self-doubt, questioning yourself, not trusting yourself. This person could have been neglecting this connection. Eight of Swords, this person could also, you know, they could also have trauma, you know, that you know they need to heal. You know, that maybe this person was very defensive, right? When you were triggering that trauma, those patterns. But Seven of Wands, like right now you're feeling like you need to protect your heart space when it comes to this person. You could even doubt, right? Eight of Swords, you could have self-limiting beliefs that they're even working towards coming towards you with the Knight of Pentacles. Let's get another one. I think they caused you a lot of mental conflict. One more for how you feel about them. So we have the Ten of Swords in reverse, okay? So this is showing me, and we have the Chariot. So remember the airplane card. It said, learning lessons moving forward. That's exactly what this means, okay? So I feel like you did learn an important lesson from this connection, and you're integrating that lesson and, you know, moving forward. That doesn't mean you're like rushing into other relationships, but it feels like you're no longer waiting, right? You could feel like this person has important lessons to learn. I think this person has some sort of pattern as well that you see, right? And maybe your perspective was, hey, you have this pattern, but maybe they weren't seeing it. The World in reverse for how you're feeling about them. You know, it feels like you do feel like they took you for granted, or they didn't appreciate you. There's no closure either, right? There's a lack of closure here. But even without that closure, I feel like you're trying to move forward. Even without that closure, without that apology. All right, let me see. I just want to make sure this is straight and that you can see everything. All right, let's see how they're feeling about you. It's funny because you're in this energy of protecting your heart space, right? You're not showing me your emotions. You know, maybe you didn't feel safe to show your emotions or be emotional. But like when I'm asking how you feel about them, right? You truly are protecting your heart space. You're not telling me emotionally how you feel about this person, which I find interesting. Let's see how they're feeling about you. I don't find it interesting. I don't find it interesting in the sense that you're doing anything wrong. Just as a tarot reader, I find it fascinating, right? So 5 of Wands in reverse. They do want to end the conflict. They want to compromise. They want resolution with you. 6 of Wands for how they feel about you. You could have made this person feel very seen and loved, right? And you could have similar wounding. Like I was talking about it I did a reading earlier about childhood wounds, and I was talking about how often with these connections, you actually attract each other because you have a very similar wound, right? And this could be a wound of neglect specifically, but it's like you attract each other because you both have the same type of wounding, but you show up in relationships in completely opposite ways, right? That would trigger these wounds. So like you could have a neglect wound. So you could feel like you have to overperform or people please or earn that love. Or if you feel distance, you could feel like you have to give more, right? Whereas this person, if they have a neglect wound, if you are an overgiver, right? And want to, like, you really work towards making sure the people in your life feel seen and loved and appreciated, right? This person's trauma response, right, of a neglect wound could be that when they feel that spotlight on them, when they feel love and attention from someone, they actually push it away or they avoid it because it's foreign to them, right? It's not familiar to them. So that's what I'm noticing in some of my readings. It's like the people I'm channeling, it's almost like they have the same wounds, but like in that wounding book that I always use, 2 people with the same wound can attract each other, but then show up in very like opposite energies. So again, where you have a wound, like just for example, you have a wound of neglect. You attract someone in with a similar wound of neglect, but the way that you compensate for it unconsciously is to like really pour love into that person. And then the way they show up because of that wound unconsciously is to like avoid that love, right? Because I'm seeing here that you made this person feel very loved and very seen. And that could have been what you were looking to have changed here, right? You could have wanted this person to show you more love, to spend more time with you, to prioritize you. And this could have caused this person to, like unconsciously, maybe they felt like you were asking for too much, right? That could have been their perspective. You could also be attracting a lot of attention right now online. 8 of Pentacles on the bottom, the Hierophant. So they felt an energy of commitment with you, fear of commitment. How are they feeling about you? So what's interesting here what I'm seeing here, okay, that's very interesting to me, is for you, I'm getting a lot of swords, right? When I'm asking how you're feeling about them. So it's more so like I'm getting your thoughts. And for them, I'm getting a lot of wands, a lot of fire energy, which can be about confidence and movement. So it's like you're thinking about this person and they're feeling like they need to move towards you. It's very interesting to me. Strength. All right, so you could have really triggered their ego here, triggered their wounding. Strength, they feel a very strong connection with you. Again, they could be working up the confidence, like there's something about them wanting to reach out to you here, to move towards you. So they could be trying to work up the courage or the confidence to step out of their comfort zone, right? The wands, like they have a lot of fire and wands. You have a lot of air. And we have the Wheel of Fortune. So for how they feel about you, they could feel like this is a fated connection. This is also about change, the courage to change. Remember that card, that green card, the courage to change. So again, I feel like you were a catalyst for this person. You know, they feel like they had to make adjustments before coming towards you. This is also about like a decisive moment. So it feels like, again, all those wands, it feels like they feel like they need to move towards you. Maybe they feel like they're losing you, right? Like, especially if you are releasing them, right? Remember how I said the tables have turned or the energy has shifted. So if at one point you were like really holding on to them, thinking about them all the time, maybe even for a time, like waiting for them to come back, energetically, it almost feels like they feel you detaching or they feel that you're protecting your energy, and it's causing them to want to come towards you. They see you as their wish fulfillment. Queen of Wands, right? So again, they feel like you're going through a glow up, that you're protecting your energy, that you're standing in self-confidence, that you're happy without them, I'm hearing. And again, it's kind of causing this person to really, well, to change. They see you as their wish fulfillment. Ooh, all of a sudden, as I'm asking how they're feeling about you, my heart started racing. I'm feeling a little anxious. So they could, again, they could be afraid to come towards you right now, right? All right, one more for how they're feeling about you. Knight of Cups. The Emperor. Oh, my. Positive change. Thank you, Spirit. Remember, I was seeing 555. The crazy thing is, well, it's not crazy, because I read energy, right? I embody the energy. So before this reading, I was actually in a t-shirt. I mean, I'm still in my t-shirt. But when I was meditating for this reading, I got like a rush of cold come over me. And I actually had to put on a sweater. I haven't been wearing a sweater lately. Pointless information that you don't really need to know, right? But I was getting the energy of someone feeling left out in the cold. And that's when I looked at my tablet and I saw 555 and positive change, right? So that's what I was kind of channeling for this reading. So this person, for how they feel about you, they could definitely be feeling like they're left out in the cold here, especially if energetically you were moving forward, right? Doesn't mean you're out dating people, but you're not putting your life on hold, right? You're going to keep moving forward. You're not going to stay stuck waiting for this person to wake up or heal, right? So this person, again, they feel like they need to make positive changes. They've seen you make positive changes, right? And I feel like, they've had to make positive changes, especially if you set a boundary, right? If you said something to them, Like, until you're ready to prioritize this, right? I'm going to focus on myself. So this person would have that energy where I need to make these changes if I'm going to come back, if there's a boundary there. So they feel like they need to take the lead here. They need to step up. Knight of Cups, I was just wondering, like, neither one of you are showing me feelings, so you could both kind of be protecting your heart. But Knight of Cups does show this person like thinking about sending a romantic message. There's romantic feelings here. Similar to the Page of Cups, there's this energy of wanting to, releasing, cleansing, healing. Froggy. There's things maybe they needed to release and heal. Maybe they needed to grow up a little, right? Emotionally. But this is also an energy of wanting to rekindle things. That is very interesting. All right. Well, let's see where you are on your positive change healing journey. These cards don't lay flat. Where are you on your healing journey? We have the Page of Coins. Beautiful. So you are investing in yourself, new chapter, new beginning, growth, learning about yourself. You could be taking a course, you could be writing a book, working on a creative hobby, seeing your own potential, right? So maybe in this connection, maybe entering this connection, you didn't see your potential. And maybe this connection, because this person was maybe not prioritizing you or neglecting you or whatever it was, now your perspective is shifting and you're seeing your own potential. This could also be like maybe you are working on a creative opportunity, a creative hobby. Maybe you're writing a book. We also have the Magician, right? So the willpower to have this new beginning, to keep moving forward. I'm not talking about a new beginning with them. I'm talking about you, right? So right now you're having the willpower and you're being more proactive towards your growth, towards your stability, towards you, right? Seeing the potential in you. And again, you could be trying to manifest like a more stable relationship, a more solid foundation, a new chapter in love. Maybe working on something magical like your mission. That's beautiful. The Star, healing, right? Healing. Maybe you are thinking, maybe you are online. So let's see where they, Emperor, stop it. Look, they're rising to the occasion. Look at that. That Emperor card does not want to lay flat. Oh my gosh, I'm hearing a song. You've been rickrolled? What's that song? I'm hearing you've been rickrolled. I don't know why, but when I touched that card, how it's like, I started hearing that rickroll song. What is it? Never gonna let you down, never gonna something something. Never gonna turn around and desert you. Are those the lyrics? That's what I'm hearing. Interesting. You've been rickrolled. I don't know. Where is this person on their they're stepping up, right? Where is this that's so funny. Where are they on their healing journey? This person. Where are they on their healing journey? What changes are they making? Whoa. So, releasing baggage, releasing responsibilities. There's some sort of completion of a cycle here, right? They're being less weighed down by their baggage, their trauma, maybe the responsibilities in their life. They could be delegating some of these responsibilities. Like if this is someone who had a lot of stuff going on, couldn't focus on love. We have the High Priestess. Okay, so this person could even be healing lifelong ingrained patterns, right? behaviors from their own childhood. With that 10 of Wands, it's like they're unpacking baggage is what I'm hearing. They're healing. 8 of Wands. So again, there's a lot of like wanting to come towards you. They're feeling intuitively guided to come towards you, connecting with their intuition. Now, 8 of Wands is an interesting one for where they are on their healing journey, because this is rapid change and rapid growth, right? So this person, it feels like once they started offloading some of this, the responsibilities or some of the things they needed to heal, they're experiencing rapid change, rapid growth. It's happening quite quickly. Like maybe all they needed was that epiphany moment, right? Like they were so set in their perspective, and maybe they've had an epiphany about their own trauma, their own behaviors, that's giving them this perspective shift. And again, there's like a lot of wands coming out for them. So movement. And you know, the high priestess, that is an energy of having love for someone, but being silent, right? So there's definitely an urge to communicate here. Heavy thinking, right? Contemplation. Justice, balance, accountability, seeing the truth of the situation. Again, I'm getting this person was very stuck in their own perception. Maybe they are learning to, like, if this person did have a lot of responsibilities, maybe they're learning to delegate some of those responsibilities, finding more balance in their life. Maybe they had some sort of karmic lesson, I'm hearing. Well, that's very positive. Stop it. All right. What was the blockage in this connection? That's what I want to see. What was blocking this connection? Okay. So we had the, it didn't come out. We did have the Hierophant. So they could have had a fear of commitment, or maybe they were connected, like that family providing, right? Maybe they were, maybe the third party interference was like children from a past marriage, or someone they used to be committed to could have been the blockage. We have the Star in reverse, right? So for me, the Star is about healing. It's also about like hope, right? So it feels like what was blocking this connection is you both needed to make changes. You both needed to heal. And perhaps there was some, you know, negative mindsets or lack of hope in this connection. We have the Fool on the bottom. Wow, that Emperor is really standing up there, isn't he? So fear of commitment, immaturity. Maybe you were investing, right, in a very unhealed person from an unhealed place. Maybe they weren't invested in this connection because they had a fear of commitment. I want to see one more for blockages. 7 of Coins. All right, so what this is showing me, risky investments, right? The Fool as a blockage. The 7 of Pentacles as a blockage is, I feel like there was only one person truly investing in this connection, okay? Specifically when it came to healing. So I feel like you were very invested in this connection. I feel like you were invested in healing this connection, invested in your own healing. But like I said, the 7 of Coins, it's like, it's an energy where the relationship doesn't work because there's only one person putting in the work, right? So again, back to the very beginning, the positive change. You could have been making positive changes in this connection, or trying to. You could have been making positive changes within yourself, hoping that this person would change and you could stay together. right? But it feels like you were the only one invested in it. You were the only one doing the work. You were the only one healing. All right. It's all making sense. And we have 5 of Cups. So there was a need to heal past wounds here, both of you. Also, maybe for some of you, not for all of you, this person could have been holding on to someone from the past. Like, the marriage card didn't come out, but they could have been still connected to someone from their past that they were committed to or they had children with, right? We saw family providing. All right, let's see what this person's intentions are so that you know if it's good or not when they come in, right? So what are this person's intentions? Like, there's so much willingness to move in their energy, but fear. So what are their intentions with you? King of Cups, okay? So do you see the you see the progression here, right? Page of Cups, Knight of Cups, King of Cups. This one is about effort, okay? So their intention is to come in with an offer of love and to put in effort. And this is also about someone who doesn't get triggered, right? So maybe this person was like emotionally triggered, coming from an unhealed place or an immature place. Their intention is to come in healthier than they were before, to not react from a triggered place, right? We have the 4 of Swords in reverse. Release from isolation, re-entry. Coming out of a withdrawn energy, reigniting passions. After healing. This is positive. I like this. 3 of Pentacles, wanting to be a better teammate in love, right? Wanting to give you that reciprocity. Oh, I wonder what their 4 of Wands, oh my goodness. 4 of Wands underneath the 3 of Pentacles. That's their intentions, good intentions. Let's see their next action towards you. Spirit, if you can give me timing with the action cards, please do so. If not, that's all right too. So I'm not going to specifically ask about timing, but I just, I made the intention that if Spirit wants me to know that, or you to know the timing of this, it'll show in the action card. So what are their next actions? Oh my. We have the Hierophant. Whoa, that just fell. We do have the 7 of Swords in reverse, right? So they have something weighing on their conscience, weighing heavily on them, right? That they want to communicate with you about. Possibly having to do with a past marriage, or they're no longer running from commitment, right? For timing, we are getting Taurus season. So April into May. I think it's April 20th, but don't quote me on that. So timeless message, but April to May. This is 7 weeks, which would probably put, like 7 weeks would probably put us in Taurus season. That's what Spirit's giving me for action. And we have the Sun in the upright on the floor. So they want to bring clarity to this. This person definitely could have been running from healing, right? I'm hearing that that expression, they weren't. Did you hear the door slam? Did you see the table shake? So they weren't running from you. They were running from the healing they would need to do to be with you, right? Again, there could be some clarity about a past marriage that they were in for some of you. I'm seeing this, about commitment towards you. So 7 weeks, Taurus season. Let's get one more for action. They could be coming in with quite an offer here. Like, look at all the major arcanas. This is big, okay? This isn't just them coming in and being like, oh, I've changed, and then not changing. We have the Sun, the Hierophant, the Fool, the Magician, Justice. So maybe there's something about a separation in marriage, or they got divorced or something. But this shows them taking a leap of faith towards you. This is actually Aries energy. So Aries, I'm hearing Aries season, Taurus season, Gemini season. So that's kind of like March to what? June, July, June. March to June for timing. Communication, right? Being more proactive, the Magician, Gemini and Virgo, the Fool, taking a leap of faith, the apology, the accountability, the honesty, the balance. So their intentions are backed up through their action here. 10 of Wands, relief, the end of a cycle, right? Something weighing heavily on their conscience, right? We talked about it, where once they communicate it with you, once they apologize, they're going to feel that relief. 6 of Swords, repairing after a disconnect, moving into calmer waters. Full circle here, 5 of Cups in reverse, making amends. Rekindling your hope for a future. As much as you can, as much as you can, keep moving forward, right? Because that's what you're doing right now, and look at the shift. The positive changes that you've made have led to this person's positive changes. And what's funny is that change card. It says change is coming, whether you like it or not. So maybe for some of you, right, you really are protecting your heart space, because I was seeing all these swords for when I asked how you felt about them. So maybe mentally you're done, right? Maybe mentally you're protecting yourself. You could even, like, maybe you were never expecting this person to change, right? That change is coming, whether you like it or not. I feel like it happened to them. They didn't want to change. It started happening, whether they wanted to or not. So maybe for some of you, you don't even want this person back. You know, for those of you who are wondering, how do I know if they're ready? They'll be looking very different, right? It won't just be a, hey, it'll be a, I'm sorry. Like, they're being very proactive here, right? They're bringing clarity. They're apologizing, wanting to set the record straight. So their communication, what they say in the phone call, when they show up, you'd see that, right? With all these major arcanas, you would see them being very proactive. This just wouldn't be like a, oh, hey, how are you? It would be, hey, I've had this on my mind. I really want to be honest with you. This is how I feel. I'm really sorry for this. Like, it will be a powerful message. So, what is your advice? Okay, so we've got the Page of Wands and the Knight of Swords. So remember your advice for when this communication comes in, right? Page of Wands. I think that there's a message here, right? We have the 10 of Cups. So I feel like this change, this action from this person, you know, could lead to something very beautiful here. But I'm seeing a very specific message where, remember the triggered card, right? So Spirit wants you to find an emotional balance before you respond. So, you know, I'm kind of seeing too, like, there's a message here of responding from an emotionally centered place. So for some of you, when this message comes in, it could be that it comes in and you're so happy to hear from them, right? Like maybe they don't come in with a proper apology or whatever. But again, I'm seeing two different things. Like, I think for whoever this message is for, you'll see what I explained. You'll see all of what I said, right? Clarity, an apology. You'll see them being very proactive in wanting to fix this. For some of you, when this message comes in, it's gonna like excite you. You're gonna feel this spark of excitement and want to respond right away, right? Don't. Because if it's not the right time and you respond too quickly, like, oh, hey, Spirit's saying, like, be in an emotionally balanced place before you respond. Even if that place is like excitement, like, oh, I'm just so happy to hear from them, I'm going to answer them right away, right? It's not about playing games, okay? It's about finding your emotional balance before you respond. On the same, like, similar to that, if you hear from this person and they take inspired action, right? And you feel triggered, don't respond from a triggered place, because they could be coming in with an apology and clarity, but maybe hearing from them triggers like that past version of you. Maybe feelings of like anger, resentment come up, right? This is about not responding from a wounded place, right? Like, I feel like this person probably hurt you. So Spirit's saying, I keep moving the cards. Spirit's saying, respond from an emotionally balanced, grounded, right? Grounded place. So if you're feeling overexcited or like, I don't know, like I was hearing like you just took a hit of speed. I don't even know what that feels like. Or if you're feeling like highly reactive, highly triggered, not the time to respond. The other thing I'm seeing is, for your own happiness, do not feel inspired to chase this person, right? Because this is showing me that before this happens, you could be wanting that fulfillment. You could be wanting that outcome, that happy outcome. 10 of Cups. What I'm seeing here is, before this comes in, you may feel, right? Before this manifestation comes in, like let's say you've been manifesting this, you may feel the energy changing subconsciously, and you may feel like maybe one day you're having a bad day or whatever. You may feel inspired to impulsively reach out to this person. Don't do it. Let them step up. The Emperor, let them take the lead. All right? Let them take the lead of this. Don't reach out and try and rush that manifestation. Very important here. That's a very important message. Like, you don't need to chase this, right? You don't need to chase it. So if you're feeling inspired to chase or inspired to impulsively reach out, return your, like, focus on yourself, right? Again, I always talk about like what it's like to quit smoking. So they say that the craving, right? It only lasts 10 minutes. So if you have that craving to reach out, immediately go make yourself busy with something else. Don't do it. Just don't do it. If you've already done it, forgive yourself, but let this person take the lead. All right. I made a mess of the cards here. Maybe they made a mess of this situation, right? Maybe they made a mess of this relationship. Maybe they self-sabotaged. Yeah. All right. They could have been afraid of what other people thought of this connection. That could have been the third-party interference, is that they were worried about what other people thought, thinking. We have daydreaming. I'm always longing for you. The other card I saw is I'm afraid of what people will think. That's why I said it. I just didn't hold it out. All right. So So, what does this person want to say to you? This person, look, responsibilities. So for some of you, they had like so many responsibilities that they ended up neglecting you. This could have to do with like financial responsibility to like a past partner where they have a child or their children. Reflection. Being away from you has allowed me to gain clarity. New perspectives. Time. I'm afraid it's too late to take action. So this person is actively thinking about how long it's been, right? Self-love. I'm still trying to heal. So the thing that's keeping them, for how you felt about them, we did see the underneath responsibilities, we have absence. Absence makes the heart grow fonder. You know that cliche saying. But when I asked how you felt about them, we had the Knight of Pentacles. So maybe it's been a while. So this person's still trying to heal before they come in. We have reminiscing, Six of Cups energy. So they're thinking about you heavily. You could have had inside jokes that nobody else gets, right? Like maybe they're, you know, hanging out with friends and they say this inside joke that only you would get and nobody laughs and they think, oh, they would have got it. Soul contract. The lessons I learned from us will never be forgotten. I was getting soul contract energy. I left when things got hard. Runner energy. So when things started getting triggering, right? Or you started possibly asking for more time. What does this person want to say to you? Regret. There could be regret for third party. I saw the third party card flip out. Didn't come out. Dishonesty. By lying, I ripped us apart. Seven of Swords in reverse, right? So they could have been dishonest with you. Regret. I wish this had never happened. Mr. Crow is outside. What does this person want to say to you? Okay, that's too many. Unfinished business. We still have things left to discuss, resolve and discuss. Third party and reveal. I want to tell you the truth. That's in their actions, remember? So there could be some sort of confession about what got in the way. I want to tell you the truth. They want to be honest with you. Justice, accountability. Shadow side, you made me realize my flaws. Let's get 3 more. Mend. 1 more. There's more on the floor. Disagreements. I wish you understood how I feel. That's what I mean. I feel like you had very different perspectives of what was going on. Chemistry. I've never felt a passion this intense. Reciprocity. I want to have equal give and take on the bottom. That could have been the disagreement, right? Like you could have said to them, I want to have equal give and take. The disagreement could have been like, maybe they didn't see it as unbalanced. I don't know. 1 more. Conversation. I want to call you and hear your voice. Broken. I feel shattered about this situation. There's that reciprocity again. All right, my friends, I'm going to leave it here. I am sending you lots of love and light. Remember, Aries to Gemini season, right? Aries, Taurus, Gemini. Could be symbolic signs as well. But yeah, what else do we have here? We have Taurus, we have Earth, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, Gemini, Virgo, Aries, water signs. Scorpio, Pisces, Taurus, Libra, Aries again, fixed signs, Taurus, Leo, Aquarius, Scorpio, Aquarius with the star, Queen of Swords, air energy. There's all kinds of signs here. So I'm sending you lots of love and light, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.